My name's Simon Ryder. I'm the first artist in residence here in the Observatory and have spent the months January to March here. I was really keen to work at this particular location because of the combination of art and science, with the Winchester Science Centre right next to the South Downs National Park. The two together, for me, make a fascinating theme to investigate. The whole idea of the observatory having a mobile studio where you both could look out at the landscape and people could look in at you. The whole architecture of this cabin has been based around Messina's picture of St. Jerome in his study. The whole shape, the way it's funneled. One of the key elements of this site has been the planetarium. Trained as a sculptor, the idea of being able to play with a 360-degree space fascinates me. So I've spent quite a lot of time looking at the planetarium and understanding what they do and how they do it. And that also then sparked my interest in looking further afield and looking into space and what we're doing in space at the moment. And in particular, Rosetta, the mission that's currently gone to a comet, 67P, and the amazing photographs that we're getting back and what we're beginning to understand. Being in the observatory has definitely affected the way I work. It's made me think a lot about the role of the artist in this context and how you relate to the public who come to visit and you relate to your own work. But it's also made me quite playful with it in that I have used one of the cabins as a simple drawing tool, using the fact that it rotates and to start doing land drawings using chalk. So it has affected a lot of the ways, but in the end, the focus has come back to the wider location here, between the planetarium and the national park, between the comet and the chalk. I've produced a blog of every day I've been working here, and there you'll find references to Windy Miller in Trumpton, to building structures in the online game Minecraft, to looking inside chalk, to the microscopic details of chalk, and the music of Boney M. And that's very much part of the way that I work, is an initial wide-ranging research into a particular place, which is then honed down and down to the final work. Trying to watch an artist's work can sometimes be quite difficult, depending upon the materials they're working with. And in my case, a lot of the materials are in a way virtual. So working with three-dimensional models in a computer or working with sound. But here in particular, apart from working with models of the comet, I have chosen two materials that I've been working with quite closely. One is chalk and the other are flints. Just looking out now from the observatory, I can see Justford Head, and I've been up there collecting flints from the fields, and these sort of almost otherworldly stones in a field of white chalk have really worked with the theme that I'm developing as part of the project. The linking of art and science, it's something I'm really keen on, and I often look back to Victorian times when art and science was much closer and one person could encompass both in some way. And this particular location, it's Thomas Huxley, who was a great champion for Darwin at the time evolution was just starting. And he also did a lot of research into chalk. And so bringing in some historical element like that allows me to start bringing the two together much more. So I'm interested in using technology to reconnect us with the world around us, not for itself and not for its own wow factor. This site is very public and very private. So for example, on one day during the half-term week, there were 1,800 people in the Science Centre in that one day. And so the observatory here just outside was totally inundated, which was fantastic, and we had a great time and could show the project to many people. But then on other days, I'll be out here as if no one else is around, secluded in my cabin and looking out over the downs. And it can be very quiet and very private. So I don't think I've ever been in a place that has the two extremes so close together. Because it's a temporary structure and it actually floats about a foot above the ground and rotates, you almost feel as if you're not touching the ground. And this gives a very particular perspective on a site. And I think that sort of slight distancing from the site has actually affected what I'm doing and may have contributed to the fact that I'm focusing actually on outer space now rather than right here. And I think that's been a particular result of the observatory. This residency has given me a chance to get back to drawing again, so I've been really happy to start chalk drawings on blackboards again. And that's one element of the work I think I'll be taking forward from the research that I've been doing here. I've also got hold of a three-dimensional model from the European Space Agency of the comet 67P, and I'm looking into ways of using that at the moment. I'm in that fantastic position. There's so much potential with all this work at the moment, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how I can distill it down. But the observatory has really allowed me to look really far up into space and look really down into the ground, and I suppose in some way it's fulfilled its role of encouraging observation and really close, detailed looking.